In this video, we're going to continue topic 10.1. We're looking at the fundamental identities, and we're going to look at example 14. We are still factoring an expression and then using the fundamental identities. So before I get into actually using the identities with this, I'm going to rethink about this problem as 1 minus 2. And instead of writing sign, I'm going to write x squared plus x to the fourth. It looks much more like a magic X problem, although we've got squareds in there, so that's a little bit weird and different for us, but we're going to go with it. So I'm going to do my magic X. Remember, I multiply the first and the third coefficient together, so that's going to be a 1, and then whatever's in the middle goes in the bottom. Then I need two numbers that multiply to 1 and add to -2, which would be -1 and 1. There's no leading coefficient other than 1, so we don't need a box. So we would just rewrite this as 1, because that's what was in my front term. And then we're going to subtract, and then we're going to subtract this value that's in the middle. Think about it, it's just the square root of x to the fourth, so x squared. And then I'm going to now take this back up here and replace all of my x's with signs. So that would be 1 minus sine squared x times 1 minus sine squared x. Then I'm going to try to find that on my Pythagorean identity sign, which is right here, which means I'm going to replace it with cosine squared x. Actually, before I do that, I notice that there are two of these, so I'm going to write it as 1 minus sine squared x squared. Now I'm going to replace it with cosine squared x. And then cosine squared and times cosine, or cosine squared squared would be cosine to the fourth x, and this would be our final answer.